Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of American Soccer Quick Kicks. I want to talk to you tonight about the match that the United States has coming up on Thursday against Mexico. But before I do that, a little bit of quick housekeeping. LAFC did lose to Leon in the CONCACAF Champions League. For whatever reason, they just never looked like they had a chance. Leon dominated both legs, and they absolutely deserved the title. So congratulations to Leon, and unfortunately, LAFC just came up short and didn't seem to have it. However, they are still very much in contention. They're doing great in the regular season and are and right there in contention for the Western Division title and for the Supporter Shield. They're a contender for that. They seem to be, they seem to have it together for the year. They're having a good season. They just didn't have it for Champions League. But congratulations to Leon. The other competition last week, the U.S. Open Cup, the quarterfinal matches were played. Both of the remaining USL clubs fell, and the semifinal field has been set. Let me see if I can remember off the top of my head. We're going to have Cincinnati versus Miami in one bracket, and we're going to have Houston versus Real Salt Lake in the other bracket. Now, all these rounds have been played fairly quickly in the last couple of months, but there's going to be a big break. It's going to be the last week of August that they're going to hold the semifinal matches, with the final taking place in September. So that's going to be, again, Cincinnati, who is right now the class of the league, and they're easily in first place for Supporters Shield. They're having just a great season, and they're going to be going up against Miami, which is actually the very last place team in the Eastern Conference. And you got to think that Cincinnati is going to be the favorite there. However, there is a chance that at the end of August, Miami might have a new star player on their team. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, watch my previous video, the one that came out just before this one. I think you can figure it out. Although you usually don't have your best superstars playing in cup matches, this, however, would be a chance to guarantee Miami a trophy for the season and a berth in next week's Champions League. So imagine Messi with Miami next year playing in Central America in the Champions League. That'd be pretty awesome. So if they, if they don't think they can really be a cup contender, they're already a semifinalist in U.S. Open Cup. Win two matches at end of August and into September. Win those two matches, you're in Champions League next week. So who knows? They might decide to make a big push for it. You might have Messi in that. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. Houston and Real Salt Lake, they're also struggling. They don't look like they're going to be Shield or Cup contenders this year. They find themselves semifinalists. So certainly at this stage, you're going to see the teams take it very seriously because they're close enough now they can taste it. And it's like we can get a trophy here and have a good year regardless of what happens in the season and get ourselves into Champions League. If you remember, I spoke to Jake at US Open Cup Twitter. And I told him that I'd like to have him back on. I haven't reached out to him yet. I don't know if he's going to see this or not. But as we approach those semifinal dates at the end of August, I'm going to see if I can have him back and we can set all that up for you. In the meantime, the U.S. is in camp and we are into Nations League. We're going to wrap it up here in the month of June. We have a semifinal match that's going to be played this week on Thursday against our chief rival, Mexico. And if we win that, of course, the final will also be coming up in this same window. So we're going to take care of Nations League right here. If you're just a casual fan of U.S. soccer, if you only watch the national team when it comes to like the World Cup, then this is your team, okay? The roster that's in camp, the players that are going to be on the field Thursday night, they are the players that you came to know during the World Cup last December. These are the big guys. The only one missing is Tyler Adams, and he's out with an injury. But Christian Pulisic, all right, Gio Reyna, Weston McKennie, Brendan Aronson, Tim Weah, Matt Turner, Serginho Dest, they're all on this team. If you remember that group of guys, if you fell in love with them over the course of that tournament, this is that group. So tune in. Let's see what happens. This is the most important match that this group of players has played for the United States since that World Cup match against the Netherlands that saw us get eliminated. So so now we're back. We got Nations League on the line. We're going up against our chief rival. So those are all interesting names to look out for. The ones that I already mentioned. But uh, keep in mind, I mentioned before a few videos ago that there was a young striker by the name of Florin Balogun who looked like he might be headed to the United States, even though he's already played for England. That he might follow that one-time switch and dedicate his international career to the United States. And if you haven't been keeping up, guess what? He did that. We have Balogun, and he's on this roster. It's going to be up to interim coach BJ Callahan whether or not to start him or to play him at all in this Mexico game. I would absolutely do it. Throw him right in the fire and see what happens. He looks to be, I mean, I would think he's going to be someone who can slot immediately into the top of the depth chart. He's that good. He's one of the best young, exciting strikers in the world. It's a huge boost to the United States national team to have him in our pool. And you might feel a little sorry for some of the other American strikers that have been around for a while trying to crack that starting lineup and show that they should be the man. But you know what? They have had plenty of opportunity. This continues to be a position that underperforms for whatever reason. We all have our favorites, and we all, we have likable guys that are taking their shots at this position. No one's really stepped up and just gotten a firm chokehold on claiming that spot for themselves. And Balogun looks like he could immediately be that top choice guy. So will he start his very first match ever? I don't know. We'll have to find out. Again, BJ Callahan, the second interim coach since the World Cup. Our first interim coach just left. He's taken over. Callahan's never head coached any professional club anywhere. And now he's got the U.S. national team in his hands. And so we'll see what happens. Balogun is a huge name. Definitely watch out for him. Ricardo Pepi, back in this camp. He missed the last cut of the World Cup roster. You heard me talk about him a lot in the early days of this video, of this show. So anyway, we've had the better part. We've had the advantage over Mexico the last couple of years. And we're the defending champions of this tournament. We beat Mexico in the final 2 years ago in what was a fantastic match, utterly insane. I know that Mexico is out for blood. They're out for revenge. They're bringing their top players. This is the game. I mean, this is, it doesn't get better than this in CONCACAF. U.S. versus Mexico with points on the line. Both sides bringing their best players. However it worked out, we're meeting them in the semifinal round instead of the final. I don't know why CONCACAF would arrange things that way or what happened to make that be the case, but nonetheless, we're going to play them in the semifinal round. There is a documentary on Amazon Prime called Good Rivals, and it's a fantastic documentary that looks back over the soccer rivalry between these two nations. It is absolutely worth checking out. It's been out for a while. It came out last year, I believe, and I just now discovered it. I highly recommend it. It's on Amazon Prime. It's called Good Rivals, and if you want to get a taste of the history, some of the what's caused some of the bitterness in the rivalry, and everything that goes, it gives you the context of these two teams coming together and playing against each other. Watch that documentary, and it'll set you up and get you ready. Anyway, this game's going to be played on Paramount Plus. I believe Spanish is going to be both Telemundo and Universario, something like that. But for English language in the United States, Paramount Plus is what you're going to need to see this game. It comes on Thursday night, either 10 or 10:30 Eastern time. Pay attention to that. Watch some soccer with me. I will talk to you next time.